The experience I've encountered thus far in Avowed has been overwhelmingly positive. From the player's ability to explore and discover to the easy to understand and create combat styles, I've had nothing but enjoyment since I picked up this game in early access. However, there are always issues which need addressing, and I feel it's very important to get this information out there to offer a more balanced view of what I usually am talking about in my videos when it comes to dealing with Avowed, which is mostly very positive. And I want you to know what you can expect in the game, which I find to be in need of service in the future before you jump into it, including one possible problem which might just turn a large amount of the community off of this game. First off, I want to talk about cutscenes and dialogue. I personally don't find them to be bad. However, I want to toss this out as an early warning for you guys because this game is extremely story driven. I'm only bringing this up because I do have friends who do not have the personality for sitting and watching long developing stories play out in front of them. Avowed is definitely one of these type of games. So I'm just throwing this out here because if you are a skip to the end of the game type of person who hates to sit through questing dialogue and read through stories, this might not be the game for you because it is a very story rich. And when I say story rich, I mean rich in capital letters, R-I-C-H, rich. It is extremely rich in story. Every interaction, no matter the importance of the quest, is long and drawn out. For those of us who like this type of play, it's a blessing because it truly explains it all and you are never lost. But for the action, it comes only after you pay the price of sitting through these type of dialogues. Now, staying on the topic of the dialogue and just shifting a little bit to the right, be ready for a very serious tone throughout this game. It's truly the only issue I have with the questing at the moment because I enjoy the occasional change of feeling and tone that other games I play do offer. And I am by nature a less serious person than most, so I find it a bit overwhelming and dry at times to always be on the edge of serious in terms of this end of the world topic matter that drives the story in this game. I know this is the reason that the story is out there because I don't want to throw any spoilers out there, but I mean obviously there is an issue that we have to confront that is not a personal antagonist but a larger antagonist in a sense. So I get the point of being serious, but I mean it doesn't hurt to every so often throw a joke in there or something which might lighten the mood. It just gives you a hint of escapism that a purely serious storyline that is driven this way doesn't offer you. Now, the real first issue that I have with the game, because I didn't really mind storylines and stuff like this, is going to be dealing with Avowed's minimap, or lack thereof a complete one, I guess you can say. It just feels like I'm back at Boy Scout camp looking at a boring needle that's always pointing to the north. There's little icons that do pop up like collectibles and the such, but only in the immediate proximity to the character. I just personally would like more options. I would like to see maybe terrain or the ability to zoom in and out more. I don't know, anything more than what it's giving me right now, which is kind of just a filled in Boy Scout needle points to the North Compass with the occasional, hey, there's a quest right next to you, or there's a plant you can pick right next to you. Just something better. They could definitely improve on their compass. The next thing that I really think this game needs in terms for immersion is criminal actions to be incorporated. The fact that there are so many merchants to interact with, which you can legit loot a bow or a dagger off the table in front of them in their shop, immediately turn around and sell it to them, it's just ludicrous to me. There's always crouch and sneak function that is already incorporated in this game, which you use with one of your godlike abilities to kill stuff. So just type out a few more codes and make the game more challenging on this front. I mean, the fact that this is missing from the game really destroys immersion for me in the cities and houses where you can literally steal food off the tables of starving people on the farm. I just think this needs to be fixed. I mean, make it where there is a consequence for the actions that you are making in the game. I know, once again, other games do this, and I might be leaning my bias in that direction, but I do feel this game could benefit from this in total. Also, a barter system would serve as a step in the right direction for immersion as well. You can already transfer everything to your camp regardless of where you are on the map, so picking and choosing is not really an issue when it comes to the valuables that you're encountering along the trail. In fact, I mean, at this point, since you can just transfer everything to your campsite, they might as well just make infinite bag space. Because that's basically what they're doing anyways. Just save me time from having to click the R button and then have to move that stuff from a camp into a city to sell to a merchant. Just give me infinite backpack space. With this in mind, you know, the interactions that you have currently with the merchants is very inorganic. It's very plasticky. You walk up, you know, it's kind of the same thing. Oh, hey, you're godlike. Oh, very interesting. Here, let me see your wares. So they're trying to put some dialogue there, but something like a barter system definitely kind of makes you feel like you are in control of something, and it immerses you deeper into the economic system that you're having to deal with. And I think this would definitely be a good thing to put there. Which leads me to another thing that I'd like to see in the game, which is kind of an influence system. The devs and writers did a great job developing the story and adapting from the Pillars lore into this game, but it feels a little generic once again in the way everyone just kind of accepts you for who you are. There's like no struggle to prove yourself or drive to help people in need. It's just a flat road trip that requires hours of sitting through dialogue for people to say, you are godlike, so I do as you say. I know this sounds kind of stupid, but for example, the NPCs always react to my character in the same way. Basically, they're like, hey, what's on your face? Oh, that's strange. You're strange. I don't want to work with you. Oh, you're godlike? No problem. Let's just continue your questing together and save something. So it kind of needs more flair or gumption to incorporate in it so that there's more of a realistic feeling at the end of the day when it comes to these long dialogues and quests. And the final thing that I'm not happy about here is the lockpick mechanic. In Avowed, it's not about skill at all. I was about to say not just about skill, but I mean, there's no skill to it. It's just about quantity. I miss the old school style twisting and fiddling with the ups and downs to get a chest to open. In Avowed, it's just simply 1 lockpick for low quality, 3 lockpicks for medium, 6 for high quality. I mean, it literally just cues you to go to every vendor, buy every possible lockpick to make sure that you can meet the 6 pick quota if you do stumble upon that gold glowing chest. This really has got to change. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to change. I don't know that it's even in the books to do so, but a more challenging lockpick system was always a bright part of RPG games for me in the past. I mean, it's so much more enriching that you broke 5 lockpicks to open the gold chest on the 6th lockpick than just saying you need 6 lockpicks. Because I mean, that's literally all it is. You literally go to the chest, it says 3 lockpicks. You hold down the E button and it takes away 3 lockpicks from you and the chest opens. Kind of boring, not very intuitive. Something that could definitely be fixed or changed or adapted a little bit just to add a little more flair to the game. Now, don't take this critique too seriously. As you can see, I'm mostly just flaming personal choices here and have to remind everyone that this game is at the moment at the top of my list for Game of the Year, somewhat tied with Kingdom Come 2. So there's a lot of enjoyment to be had, and if you're the type of gamer that really enjoys soaking up hundreds of hours of watching game scenes with spurts of action in between, then that's not to say that this game is probably for you. And you can always just walk away from the questing if you're the type of person who doesn't like being force-fed lots of dialogue. And you can just quest around, but always keep in mind that after a while of finding that trouble, it will dry up because things do not seem to respawn. So eventually you will be stuck in a long questing dialogue like the ones I hope you have with me on this comment section. Also, show your support by liking and subscribing if you've enjoyed this discussion. Everybody, enjoy the Living Lands, and I hope that you find a lot to enjoy in Avowed.